buckaroos. Are you ready to saddle up and blaze a trail through the Wild West on the most epic ride of your life? This ain't just any old cowboy adventure. This is the great adventure. We'll dodge rattlesnakes of doubt, cross rivers of faith, and pack our wagons with must-have gear to make it to our heavenly home. Along the way, we'll hear jaw-dropping stories of God's grace, follow the footsteps of a brave missionary on his journey, and uncover the true treasures that last forever. So, grab your hat, tighten those bootstraps, and hold on tight, because this is one Wild West adventure you don't want to miss.
Well, howdy there, buckaroos. I'm so glad you made it back. What's that you say? Oh, my arm? Well, yes, I did hurt my arm. I am so glad you asked. You see, me and Pete were out gathering firewood, and Pete turned around and he scratched me. Yes, he scratched me, and I had to bandage up my arm, and well, it's better now, but I'm still mad at Pete, and so I'm keeping this here bandage on to remind Pete and remind myself every time I look at this bandage that I'm mad at him. Yep, I'm so glad you asked about that. Now, you know, I'm just gonna keep this bandage on for forever. Yes, forever. Okay, now, thank you for just letting me say that. Okay, now where are we heading to today? Oh no. We're going to the forest of forgiveness. Now, why do we have to go there? Okay, all right, well, go over and find out what our gold nugget of truth is for today. I gotta go.
We're here in the forest of forgiveness, looking for today's gold nugget. I wonder what we're gonna find here. Oh, here it is. Let me dust it off. Ooh, that's a good shiny one. Today's gold nugget is forgive others as I am forgiven. Now let's stash that one in our heart and keep on riding.
Hold your horses there, partner. Before you leave, I have a brand new memory verse for us to learn. I'll say part of it, then you repeat after me. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Hebrews 4:16. God's grace can help us when we need it. Great job!
This life is a journey, a path made for me. With every step I take, as I run this race, I'm becoming the person you call me to be. A child of God, a life redeemed. So I set my eyes on you. Jesus, I'm ready, and ready to go. Where you lead, I'll follow. Where you lead, I'll go. Not gonna wait for tomorrow. This is the journey of a lifetime. The journey of a lifetime. I'm ready, I'm ready. Where you lead, I'll follow. Where you lead, I'll go. Not gonna wait for tomorrow. This is the journey of a
ain't budging. It's stuck.
Grace, what are you doing?
I'm trying to move this wagon, but it's stuck.
Could you use some help?
Yes.
Have you ever had to ask someone for help? Sure, yeah. What happened? How would it feel if you really, really needed some help? I mean, really needed some help. But the person you asked was just too busy to help you. How does that make you feel? Yeah, pretty bad, right? When a person needs help, it's good to stop our busy day, extend some grace, and help that person. God wants us to show kindness by helping one another. When we stop our busy day to help someone, it reflects our love for God, who helped us when we needed it most by giving us grace and forgiveness. Now, I think I have some buckaroos that can help us. Hey, buckaroos! Will you come help us move this wagon?
Okay.
All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Woo! We got it! Yeah!
I'm so glad you joined me today. I have got a special guest coming over. We have been on the wagon train and we've been traveling to go to heaven, our destination, and I'm going to have a special guest. So I got my fancy dishes out and I'm going to set the table. Do you ever have anybody over for dinner? It's exciting when you have someone over, isn't it? Well, in the Bible, there is a story about someone who had a special guest over for dinner. See, it was David. Do you remember David? David's the one who fought the lion and the bear, and he killed the giant. Well, when David was young, there's a story you may not be familiar with. It was a story about his best friend, Jonathan. Do you have a best friend? You do. And I'm sure you do everything with your best friend. You go to the park, you play, and even have them over for a special meal. Well, this day, David was with his best friend Jonathan, and they made a promise to each other that no matter what happened, they would show kindness to each other's family when they grew up. So years later, David is king, and David remembers his promise, and he says, I wonder what happened to Jonathan's family. I know he has some children, so he asked his servant, he said, do you know where that Jonathan's family is? And they did. There was a son whose name was Mephibosheth. Can you say that? Good job. And they told David about Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth, when he was little, he had an accident. He had fallen and he had injured his legs to where he couldn't walk anymore. Now, we don't know if Mephibosheth during his life was showed kindness or not. Maybe kids made fun of him or people made fun of him. But this day, when David remembered his promise, he sent for Mephibosheth to come to the palace, the king's palace. And he had a special table set. And Mephibosheth came and he got to sit at the king's table. All because that David remembered his promise to Jonathan to show kindness to others. And you know, that's like us on our trail to heaven. We need to show kindness to others and remember that on our trail to heaven, we may have problems, we may come into situations where we don't know what to do, but kindness is always the right thing to do. And that's what David did for Mephibosheth. Do you remember earlier today, whenever that Tom had bandages on his arm because that he had been gathering firewood and someone accidentally scratched him with the firewood, but he would not forgive. So we need to remember here at the Trading Post that we don't want to hold on to unforgiveness. That if someone has done something to us or maybe treated you unfairly, don't hold on to that unforgiveness. That'll get you sidetracked right off the trail to heaven to hold that in your heart. Jesus had a lot of things done to him and said about him that wasn't right and wasn't fair, but Jesus always responded with love and kindness, just like David did in our story. David showed kindness to Mephibosheth when he didn't have to as the king. No one was making him keep his promise. But David showed kindness to someone who could not repay him for that kindness, and David wasn't looking to be repaid. Kindness comes from the love in our heart to be shown to someone else. If someone has done something to you, you forgive them and you show them kindness, because that's what Jesus did. He forgave everyone that had been unkind to him, because that's what we need to do when we stay on this trail to heaven, because it's more important to make it to heaven than to hold on to unforgiveness. So if you need to make a trade, you better get at it, partners, because that's being like Jesus.
All right, Buckaroo, y'all did a mighty fine job today. Let's remember to be quick to show grace, quick to forgive, and quick to lean on God's strength. Now let's saddle up and ride to the next adventure.